We'll begin today in a comfortable cross-legged position. And I really want to emphasize the word comfortable. If you're not able to sit comfortably cross-legged, then it's suggested to take some towels or blankets or uh, bolsters and elevate your hips. And trust me, that will make a world of difference. So um, we're not here to suffer. And at the very least, it's helpful to pull the flesh of the buttocks back behind the sit bones. And come squarely into your sit bones. And if you can, close the eyes. And feel the weight of your buttocks on the ground. And at the same time, feel your head lifting up toward the sky. It might be helpful to imagine a giant hook coming down from the sky, hooking into the top of your head and gently pulling up. And then you can let everything relax down away from there, like a shirt hanging off of a hanger. And in that lift of the spine, there's lots of space, hopefully, in the body and in the belly, allowing breath to come in fully, deeply. Really letting the belly be soft so that it can flow and move and expand with the inhale. Just allowing it to relax with the exhale. And bring the breath from the belly up through the ribs and up into the heart. Just like as if your body were a glass of water and you were just pouring the water in from the bottom to top and just feeling the way it fills up. And then place the hands around the shins. And when you inhale, bring the chest out, the shoulders back, the eyes up. And when you exhale, round, leaning back, tucking the chin, going back and forth, letting the pace of your breath set the rhythm. The movement follows the breath. Good. Now we'll move the hands to the knees and do the same motion. And maybe you'll see how it feels a little bit different, the part of your spine that's emphasized in the curving changes. You actually pull the hands toward the knees on the inhale, tucking those back ribs forward. And then coming to rest. Just letting the chin drop forward, letting the hands relax. Breathing slowly, as though you were breathing into the back of the neck. And then on an inhale, lifting the hands and the eyes. Exhale, folding forward, relaxing the hands. Letting the elbows release down toward the ground. Letting the belly relax, even though the belly may not be able to expand as much when it's folded. See if you can keep it soft. And then see where the breath goes while the belly is somewhat restricted by being in this position. Maintaining the intention to breathe slowly and deeply from bottom to top. And just experiencing it anew in this moment. Challenge yourself to take the fullest expression of breath your body has room for, knowing that you'll make more room if you breathe deeply. On the exhale, really let go. Let the weight of the torso release over toward the ground. The arms drop. Letting go also of whatever the mind might want to be doing, whether it's in relation to your physical body or whether it's off on some other planet. See if you can let that go and unify the mind with just the pure awareness of the feeling. Not the evaluation, not the wanting it to be different, just as it is. And then walk the hands in, roll yourself up, reach the arms up, inhale. Exhale the arms down. Notice how you have crossed your legs, and then release the legs and shake them out. And then cross them with the opposite leg in front. Again, letting the sit bones sink down, and the head lift tall. Feeling the breath. And we'll reach up when we inhale, and exhale the left hand down, coming over, dropping the shoulder by bending the elbow, and then pushing into the left hand and dropping the right sit bone more firmly into the earth, and reaching out long through that right arm, turning the gaze up if you can. If the neck doesn't like that, down is fine. Staying connected to the breath. Whole breath. Even the fingers are reaching. Good. And then we'll lift up a little bit Turn the chest to face that left knee and bend over on the diagonal. Maintain pressure with the left hand to send the right hip back. And then reach out long through the right arm. Where does the breath go now? Is it different than in the last position? How does the shape of the body influence the placement and the feel of the breath? How does the fullness of your breath influence how the posture feels inside? And then inhale, bring the right arm up. Exhale, bring it down to the ground to the right. Inhale the left arm up. And then exhale, lean over to the right, bending the right elbow, taking that right shoulder down away from the ear, and then pushing into the right hand to sink the left sit bone. And bringing the gaze up or down. Notice the difference. Let's all just experiment and inhale deep with the gaze up. And then change nothing but the head coming down. Take another deep breath. Just see if it feels any different. And then on your next inhale, lift up a bit, turn your chest to face your right knee, and fold over that leg, reaching out on the diagonal. And press into the right hand, sending the left hip back. And then reach that left hand out away from that hip. Relax the body over, maybe drawing the navel in toward the spine as you exhale to release all the air out. And almost creating like a collapsing. Just as when you let air out of anything that's inflated, it just kind of lets go, shrivels up, let the body release. On the full length of your breath. And push into your right hand, lift your left arm up, reach up, exhale down. And release the legs, shake them out. And then come over onto hands and knees. I'm going to take the left knee out to the side. And then we're going to make big circles around in the air with the knee. And reverse. and release down. And we'll do the other side. How's your breathing? And reverse directions. And release down. Good. We'll take a few cat and cow, letting the tailbone start by curling up and then feeling the curl follow the breath in as the rest of the spine rolls up and the eyes reach up. And then starting again with the tailbone on the exhale, feeling the belly draw up, releasing all the air, ending with the head down. Just continuing like that. Try to keep the arms locked so that all the movement is happening in the spine. On the exhale, you really want to lift and pull your spine up toward the sky, just as on the inhale, you let it drop down. You don't want to rock at all forward and back. Imagine that the arms and legs are frozen. Sometimes I like the image of one of those kinds of hammocks that doesn't hang on trees, but actually has a stand with 4 legs. And then you just imagine on the inhale that somebody's sitting in the hammock, dropping the fabric down. But the legs, the arms and legs, they don't move at all. Okay. And then come back to neutral. Keep your hips in line with your knees and walk your hands forward. Letting your head rest down. So maybe the forehead comes to the ground. Maybe if that's easy, the chin comes to the ground. Or if that's easy, the cheek. And then just pull the hips back as much as you're able to. Making sure that the hips are not at all behind the knees, but just lined up right above them. Maintaining the intention to breathe from belly to chest. And if you're on one cheek, turn to the other cheek. And then if you're on one cheek, bring your head center. And then we'll all bring the hands back so that they're under the shoulders. Push into the hands with the elbows by your ribs. Press yourself up and round your back again. Beautiful. Come back to neutral spine and walk the hands over to the left. Send the right foot up. And so it's not going to be out to the side today. It's going to be level with your right hip. And then bring your hands back to the front. So one is on either side. And then let the hips drop forward. And then check to see if your ankle is under your knee. If it isn't, you need to move it forward or back so that the ankle is under the knee. Again, we're working on these straight lines. If you get the bones to go straight into the ground, then the bones provide lots of support, and then all the stretching comes in the muscles. We're going to take weight in the left hand. We're going to bend the left knee and reach the right hand back for the left foot. And if you don't reach the foot, it's good to always have like a strap or a towel handy so that you can kind of give your arm a little bit more length. Or if you're wearing long pants, sometimes you can just grab hold of the pant leg if you can't reach the foot. You know, sometimes it's not a matter of not reaching, but the leg can cramp. So often that'll just go away. So you can try to do it and see if you can tolerate. And then we're going to let the hips drop forward again. And then aim the left hip for the right foot. You can look over your right shoulder behind you. Nice deep slow breaths. Good. And then release the foot down. Walk the hands back until that front leg straightens. And then flex the foot, lifting the toes off the ground. Take a breath in. And then exhale and bend the elbows. Lay your belly down toward your thigh. Relax your head. And then just pull that right hip back a little more. And then take your left hand off the ground for a moment and then return it onto the fingertips. And then take the right hand off the ground and then return it onto the fingertips. And see how lightly you can rest the fingertips on the ground. You may not even be resting on the ground if you don't reach there, in which case you have an advantage because you're not holding yourself up in any way. We really don't want those hands to create any form of resistance. We want to relax the arms completely. And then exhale and release the torso over the leg. Long breaths. Head relaxed. Good. Shift forward. Bring the hands to the inside of the foot. Just really sink those hips down. And then just let that right knee fall out to the right. You might want to change the placement of your hands if that'll help you lower that knee down even more. Pay attention to your breath above all else, and then really just see how much you might take weight out of your hands on the exhale and let that knee release. Most likely your hands are holding it up. And then lift back up, swing the leg back, and walk the hands to the right, and step the left foot forward. And then bring one hand on either side as we bend that left knee and drop the hips down. And then if you do tend to cramp on this, just see what happens if you go slowly, bending that back leg and then reaching your left hand for your right foot. Pulling the heel toward the buttock. And then we're going to really drop that right hip and aim it for the left foot. So that will automatically kind of turn the body just a little bit, and then you can look over that left shoulder. Pulling heel to buttock. Breathing all the way up to the collarbones. And release the hand. Send the hips back, straightening the front leg and flexing that left foot. Taking a breath in and exhale, bending the elbows, relaxing the head down, drawing the belly in. And then lift one hand, return it onto the fingertips. Lift the other hand, bring the fingertips down. Lift the elbows, relax. Pull the tip back a little bit more. Pull the toes toward your head a little bit more. And just feel and then shift your weight forward, bending into that front knee again, bringing the hands to the inside of that left foot, dropping the right hip, and then letting the knee release out. And again, you might change the placement of your left hand if that allows that knee to drop down even more. And then just notice how much weight is in the hands. And then particularly if the arms are locked, just bend the elbows and take less weight into the hands so you can drop the hip even more. Steady your breath, steady your mind. Beautiful, lift back up. Swing the leg back. And then we'll start on hands and knees for a moment. And then we're going to lower the chest onto the ground, keeping the buttocks off the ground. So you might have to bring your hands forward. Bring your chest forward until your chest can literally touch the ground. If your chest isn't on the ground, you need to move it further away from your knees. And then the chin rests on the ground, the hands rest, and the feet and knees rest. And it's called 8 points pose. So you can see it's the chin, the chest, the knees, the hands, and the feet. And then we breathe deeply in, and then when we exhale, we try to sink the spine into the ground. It's often called alternately middle spine adjustment. If it's too intense on your neck, you're welcome to come onto your cheek instead. Good. And then we're just going to let the body lengthen out onto the belly, stacking the hands under the forehead, resting the forehead down. And then when you next exhale, feel the hips releasing into the ground, the pubic bone heavy. Good. And then we're going to glue the backs of the hands to the forehead, press down strongly into the pelvis, and inhale and lift the hands, lift the elbows, letting the head rest on the stacked hands as you lift. The feet are down for now, just the upper body is lifting. See if the inhale helps you lift a little more. Good. And then we'll release down and then lift the legs. Try to get the entire legs off the ground. The knees lift, the thighs lift, pushing down into the pelvis. Reaching out long through the toes. And relax down. And then release your hands out from under your forehead, resting your forehead on the ground. And take the arms alongside the body. On your next exhale, really sink the pelvis into the ground. And then on your inhale, lift your head, lift your shoulders, lift your arms, lift your chest. Exhale, lift your legs. Good. Now, those of you who like more of a challenge, the arms can come out in front of you. If that's a little bit too much, you can try out to the side, which is still a little bit harder than behind you. Try to get the whole of the leg off the ground, even the thigh. Let the inhale raise your chest a little bit more. Nice. And relax down. Turn and rest on one cheek. Let the heels flop in or out, whichever feels most restful to you. And then bring your head back to center. And we'll do it one more time, this time clasping the hands behind the back. So when you clasp your hands, you can try to pull them apart, and that may help straighten the elbows and roll the shoulder blades in. And then press the tailbone into the ground. Inhale, lift the chin and chest, lift the arms. Exhale, lift the legs. And so you don't want to bend the knees, even if it feels like the legs are lifting higher because you bend your knees. The point is not to lift the feet so much as the thighs. So if you bend your knees, you're less likely to get the thighs off the ground. You want to reach back through your toes. So really straightening the legs actively and reaching back through the toes is going to help those thighs to come up off the ground. One more breath. Good. And relax down and rest on the opposite cheek. And again, let the heels fall in or out. My back feels nice when my heels go out, but I know some people say it's more comfortable when theirs fall in. So see for yourself. Breathing the belly into the earth. And then bring the hands under the shoulders. Press yourself up. And thread the left arm under. Bring the right arm forward. Coming into child's pose, but keeping the left arm under you. Sitting your hips back toward your feet. And then change the arms. Bring the right arm under and left arm forward. And then bring both arms forward. Keep the hands exactly where they are and lift your hips off your feet. Spread the fingers wide apart. Good. So you don't want to move your hands back. So come back into your child's pose. See where your hands are. And then keep them there when you lift up. It feels a little bit unnatural because you're used to having your hands onto your shoulders, but the placement is actually in front of the shoulders for downward dog. So we keep the hands there. Curl the toes under, take a breath in. And then exhale, lift the knees, but don't straighten them. Push forward into the hands and send the hips back as though you're trying to line the hips up over the heels. Keeping the knees bent, take a breath. And then when you exhale, sink your ribs down toward your thighs. Press the left heel down, keeping the right knee bent. Push firmly into those hands, lengthening the spine back and pressing the heel down. And then switch legs, bending the left knee, pressing the right heel down, pushing forward into the hands, lengthening the spine, sending the hips back so you can sink the heel more. And just long, slow breaths here. And then inhale and look forward. Lift the left leg up. And then exhale, step it up between the hands. Good. Bring the back heel down onto the ground. Bring the left elbow onto the left knee. And then lift your body up so that your belly is facing sideways. Your left index finger and thumb are touching. And then that right arm reaches overhead. Bend deeply into the front knee. And try to bring those left ribs under you, gazing up. Good. And then bring the right hand behind you. Just let it rest on your back. Turn your gaze down to the floor. Step the back foot up a little bit. And then release the left hand down onto the ground so that it's about 10 o'clock of the left foot. And then lift your back leg up off the ground. Try to get it parallel to the ground. And then again, bring those left ribs under you so your belly is facing to the right, and take the right arm up. If you're balanced enough, turn your gaze up to your upraised hand. Good. Now bend the front knee, bring the back foot down, straighten the front leg, and bring the left hand onto the left shin. Right arm straight up in the air. And then sink your left ribs down toward your left thigh. Triangle pose. Push forward into your front foot, sending weight into your back foot, and sink down. Gazing at your upraised thumb. Dropping your right ribs down toward your left ribs. And then bend the front knee. Bring your hands down to the ground. And step back. Coming into our full downward dog now, straightening both legs. Pressing both thighs back, both heels down, both hands forward. And then on an inhale, lift the right leg up, look forward. Exhale, step the foot up between the hands. Bring the back heel onto the ground. Bring your right elbow onto your right thigh, index finger to thumb. Lift and roll your belly open toward the left. Bring the left arm overhead, reaching across the room. Push back into your left foot, sending your right knee forward and your left arm forward. Long breaths. Nice. Bring the left arm behind your back. Take your gaze down to the ground and step your back foot forward a little bit. And bring your right hand to the ground about 2 o'clock of your foot. And then push into your front foot to lift your back foot. And then the key in this pose is that we want the body to face open, just like we did in the last pose, our side angle pose. So if that left hip looks like it's, or feels like it's pointing toward the ground, you want to really peel it up and bring those right ribs under you. Lift the left hand up to the sky. And again, if you have the balance and the desire, you can take your gaze from the floor to the upraised hand. Front knee bends, the back foot comes down, the front leg straightens, and the hand finds that leg. The left arm is straight up in the air. The gaze is at the left thumb. We take a breath in and reach up through the left hand, and then exhale and sink the torso down toward the right foot. Again, pushing forward with the right foot, sending a little bit more weight into the left foot, and then extending the torso out long from there. Dropping the left ribs down. Beautiful. Bend the front knee, bring the hands to the ground and step forward. Folding over your legs. Beautiful. And then roll yourself up. Reach the arms up. Inhale. And then exhale and bring the hands behind your back. Clasp them in your less natural way. Whichever thumb wants to go on the outside, bring the other one there. And step the legs wide apart. Have the heels as wide as the baby toes. You can turn sideways on your mat if you're on a floor that's slippery. And then again, we're gonna pull the hands apart, rolling the shoulder blades in toward each other. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Letting the hands lift up as far away from the body as possible. press down into the feet and lift the thighs. And then release the hands to the ground. Bring the left hand in the center, right under the chest, and bring the right arm up into the air, coming into a twist. Inhale and make the spine longer. And then as you exhale, bring those left ribs under you even more. And release the hand down, bringing that right hand center, and then bring the left arm up, twisting. Right ribs come under, feet press down, eyes are up. Maybe they're closed, but they're in the direction of the thumb. And release the hands down. Walk them back. Turn the fingertips toward the wall behind you. Inhale, push down into the feet, lift through the thighs. And then exhale and pull the hands forward. So you're not actually going to move them. You're just going to really keep them firm on your mat or your floor. And then you're just going to pull toward the front of you as you exhale. Keep lifting the thighs. And then walk the hands forward. Step the feet back in. Bring the knees down. Then sit on your feet. Sitting nice and tall. We're just gonna do a little bit of breathing. So take the first two fingers of your right hand and rest them on the point between your brows, your third eye. And then the thumb will come to rest on the right nostril, and the other two fingers will rest on the left nostril. And then we'll bring the left index finger and thumb together to rest on your thigh that way. And then as you inhale, close off the right nostril so that you inhale through the left. And then when you exhale, close off the left nostril so that you exhale through the right. Stay like that and inhale through the right. Close off the right and exhale through the left. And you'll continue like that, switching on your exhales. This balances the body. The masculine and feminine energies, the right and left brain. And after your next exhale, release the hands down. Come off your feet onto your buttocks and onto your back. We'll take the arms out to the side, cross the right leg over the left, and then just scoot the hips over to the right a bit and let the knees drop down to the left. Lift your head and bring it over to the left and turn it to the right. And just breathe, sinking down into your left hip. Come back to center, uncross your legs, recross them the other way. And then move your hips over to the left, drop your knees to the right, lift your head and move it to the right and turn it to the left. Let the knees fall all the way down. Let the shoulders drop back and down. Sink into that right hip bone. Then come back to center. Straighten your body out, hug the knees to the chest. And bring the feet down. Lift and tuck the tailbone. Release it down. Release the legs. And shake them out. Take the arms out away from the body. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Release the body heavily into the ground. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Release the jaw. Let the lips slightly part. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Release the activity of the mind. Bringing your attention just to your breath. And then releasing your breath as well. Just going from a breath that you take to a breath that you receive. And just seeing where you feel the breath. And moving your awareness into that place, that feeling, the movement, the life inside you. Just resting there, deeply relaxed, letting go, letting go, letting go. Breathe into your heart. Move the fingers and the toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath. Stretch long. Hug the knees to the chest. Rocking side to side. Feeling the ground massaging your back. Come center, bring the soles of the feet together, the palms of the hands together. Rub hand to hand and foot to foot. And then roll over onto either side, resting your head on your underside side arm. Resting your body on the ground. Resting your awareness on how you feel. Really taking in the benefits of your practice and the good work you've done. Maybe with a sense of appreciation. And when you're ready, you can slowly lift yourself up to sitting any way that you're comfortable. Letting your head come up last. Head. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, the hands together at the heart. Inhale the heart up to the hands. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in. Let it all go. Drop the chin to the chest. Namaste. Thank you for your practice.